Vimlitala ki jai. Vasudevaji's marriage ki jai. The new initiates ki jai. Okay, so you've come here to celebrate this festival, and I've come here to meet you and to request Lord Krishna to bless whatever efforts and promises you are making so that they may be coming successful. Because whether in success or in failure, Krishna Bhavantuma, you are my only shelter. Krishna is my only shelter. Today we also have a nice day in Vitala with all the nice devotees. Evala Lama! What was that? We try another one. So this evening I want to take our consciousness somewhere else. Tomorrow will be the festivities of marriage and all that. Today I just wanted to speak with you something very general, but of great importance. It is about the topic how to put it, topic about commitment. Commitment is on larger scale the major element of sincerity. Commitment means to allow other people to count on you. Commitment, such an important thing. Look, Balaram, this one is much nicer. That's a real one. Huh? Commitment is the trademark of progress, future, joy, and many other things. For example, commitment is the trademark of continuous relationships. We are committed to what? Number one and foremost, to our ideals. Number two, to our family. Even if somebody's committing a blunder or having a failure in our family, we are still committed to our family. We stick together in life or in death forever. Krishna is my only shelter. Something like that. That's what commitment is. So what is the commitment we are searching for? It goes double-sided. is not only that you have to commit yourself, but you're also searching for people committed to you. Commitment is an unwritten contract. You can write many contracts. People do that all the time. And usually they turn out failure because there was no commitment. So we're not talking about contracts. As a matter of fact, in spiritual life, we don't sign any contracts. But our commitment could be beyond this birth, including. What to speak of this birth, it could be quite easily beyond this birth. Because we are committed to our karma since many, many, many lifetimes. But that's a different type of commitment. That's the law. The law is not necessarily for you to decide whether you like it or not, whether you accept it or not. Because the law is simply not asking. So the law is the law, and that's the law. And there's laws which you can't see, but you can perceive. People say, I only believe in what I see, but this is not a very smart statement, because you can perceive things which you can't see. You can perceive an existence of an intelligence, but you can't see it. So people say, I can't believe in intelligence, therefore I don't believe there is an intelligence. I agree with them, he has no intelligence. Otherwise, how could he come to such a conclusion? Any common sense person can see that there is intelligence. And the IQ is not even the measurement of the intelligence. This is an attempt of getting closer. But what is really making intelligence is not the IQ, it's the wisdom to act appropriately in the appropriate moment. So therefore, commitment is something which is related to the unwritten. It is the heartfelt issue. If you're committed to something or to someone, then you will be faithful and you stick to it because you're committed. If you made a contract, that doesn't mean you're going to do it. But if you're heartfeltly committed, then we are talking about real-time surrender. And that's what's necessary in our spiritual life. If we are not committed to something, life just passes by and nothing happens. That's what happens to most people nowadays, I'm very sorry to say. Goodness, God's sake! People spend 4 hours in front of the TV. They have no time for anything, but for the stupid TV, they spend 4 hours a day. That's the average. I mean, some people, maybe a little less, but many people, much more than 4 hours. Those who are pensionists and all these people, many of them live in front of the TV. The TV has indoctrinated them so much, and only now they're becoming more revolutionary. They sometimes switch from the TV and go on the internet. But since they're just consumers, they can only look, they can't read really. Sometimes they just go to YouTube, see if they can find some interesting clips. So the reality of this world is not very enthusing. It is a very, very lamentable condition of intellectual downfall. A tremendous intellectual downfall. And where is this going to lead? Nobody knows. Already people, the young people, they are talking to each other in such a strange way, such slangish way. The other day, I was walking through a park in office, and a young guy came to me and said, "Hey, you're so fucking nice." First it hit me. I said, "Oh, the guy's insulting me." But then something sounded to me in my back of my brain. No, she's not insulting. It's just the way he talks, no? It's just, I was supposed to be nice. Fucking nice, it means real nice, no? And so, I have to understand their language nowadays, no? Not that easy, no? So, anyhow, I smiled at him and we got into a very delightful conversation, and he was a very bright young man, just with a little bit of a street language. But my point is that people nowadays, they are really, really, really wasting their lifetime away. Wholesale. Big time. They're losing it. Called the cultural downfall of the world. Unless some rescue operation will enter into action. And this is actually, it is confirmed. One German playwright, Rainer Fassbinder, he wrote in a commentary, I will not write no more plays. They asked him, why? You're a successful playwright. He says, why? Why shall I write? People have no more vocabulary than maximum 3,000 words. What am I going to write for them? They can't get it. They can't understand nothing. You have to write, sex, violence, boom, boom, boom. This is the language they have nowadays. It's very, very, very lamentable. And what can be done about it? Commitment with culture, commitment with truth, commitment with law, commitment with your own behavior, commitment to your own responsibility. Now the funny thing is that our schools, they're not teaching that. Our schools will, if they speak of any commitment, then they will speak about commitment to the government. That you have to be a law-abiding citizen, a taxpayer, and things like that. But even that, they don't seem to be too keen about. All the techno-parties, people are taking ecstasies. It's a very highly mind-altering drug, and the government's doing nothing about it. They're allowing it. It's an official thing. Just missing that they have an ecstasy store there. That I guess they couldn't allow yet, but nobody's stopping it. Everybody knows that 80% of the kids get intoxicated and risk their life because of a heavy drug. And the same thing everywhere else. It's not only the ecstasy and the techno party. The whole world is under drugs. Prescription drugs is a big thing. Have you heard of Ritalin? Ritalin is given to the kids so that they have better performance in school. Nobody asks the question, what does it do to them? What will be the real effect for having many school years spent in Ritalin? Well, then they change to Prozac, and then they go finally and they commit suicide. Or another thing. Because they're on drugs, they're not, their mind is not functioning normally. Those who have worked with drug addictions, they know that a drug-addicted person is not only having his own life altered, but all the people related to him in that life, their life is altered as well, because they cannot relate normally to him, so they have to become abnormal to be able to relate to an abnormal person, and then you become abnormal also. So it's like, in the end, the whole situation is very, 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 very precarious. And that's what's going on in this society. Alcohol, sex and drugs and less and less language, less and less culture, less and less religion, or whatever is left over of that. So our invitation is here for commitment. Commitment with the truth, commitment with your soul. My invitation to you is you should make a commitment with your soul, because your soul is an eternal unit and you're responsible for everything you do. And if you don't understand the secrets of self-realization, then you will pass your human form of life in one way or another, but not very useful, and in the end you will not get the right result of the human form of life. You will get a different thing, a different result. And that result may not be very desirable to you. Therefore, it is my request that you make a commitment with the truth, a commitment with yourself, a commitment, you can say, with God, because God lives within you as well, a commitment with intelligence, a commitment with your father, mother, guru, friends, sincere or genuine guardians. Those who are your guardians, those who who care for you. Make a commitment with them. Because only through that commitment can you have a clear path. It's like a commitment in life gives you a certain green light on certain levels. It shows you the way where to go. Now, what is that commitment? It must be a commitment to non-violence, for example. It must be a commitment to general kindness. It must be a commitment to honesty. Ama suya, ama keya, yama juja. This was the Inca greeting amongst themselves, saying, do not steal, do not lie, and don't be lazy. Well, today, those who are not working, which are a great amount of young people, they are laziness incarnated. They don't do nothing. All those who get the social benefit payments, they're so lazy. I see them everywhere. And if you ask them for a little favor, they think like you're violating their human rights or something. Huh? It's incredible how lazy people are nowadays, and they're not injected for enthusiasm for anything. Then do not steal. That's another subject, because people steal left and right. Not so much stealing in the shops. They're stealing their health, they're stealing the women's dignity, they're stealing the life of the animals, they're stealing, trying to always cheat the government or cheat the others. There's always so much cheating going on. And do not lie. Well, how are they not going to lie? The whole world is a lie. Television is a lie, newspapers are a lie, everything is a lie, politicians are a lie. No, you really don't know. How can you not lie in this world? You have to be an absolute revolutionary against everybody if you want to say, I don't want the lies. So in other words, the Incas, they were more progressive than we are now. They were a very advanced culture. And the Indian sadhus in the time of the Brahminic culture, they were so highly advanced. Now India is going down the drain. This is not... Of course, there's still something left in India, but it's going fast down the drain. Really, they have... Nothing has westernized India more than the television, the MTV, and the market opening. Open market has made India... The difference between India and the West is every day less visible. So, in other words, our world is in a precarious position. And our spiritual master, he has requested us to commit ourselves. This question of commitment is number one to the ideals. That you have an ideal. That ideal is I have to serve. I have to practice. I have to give myself. I have to utilize my human form of life, my energy. I have to utilize my intelligence, and above all, and this is the main issue here, I have to commit my love. You see, commitment in the final end of it is a question of how much love are you going to put into your life? How much love you're going to put into your relationship with your spiritual master? How much love you're going to put in the relationship with your neighbors? How much love you're going to put into the relationship with your duties? This is really the question. Commitment, real commitment is not intellectual, I'll do it because I promised. No. A commitment is something which goes deep inside the heart. And because it's inside of your heart, it is something which is motivated and generated and inspired and guided by love. So, I come here to be very sincere with you, because I love this place. And I love the people here. That's the only thing I come here for. And it's wonderful. And I'll come again as long as I can, but it's because of that. And then I run somewhere else for that same love. As a sannyasi, that's fine. As a man who is married, for example, you can't run, you have to stay. Committed in love to your family. committed to your wife, committed to your children, committed to your local society. For example, you're a part of a local society, but everything is a mess and you don't do anything about it. When I was a young guy, I was going out and was seeing all the young people outside there, and I saw how things were going quite bad, even then, when I was a little kid, you know. Even that time it was pretty bad. But at that time, I was a political activist. I thought at that time that the political systems are guilty. Nowadays, I see it's not the system, it's the people. And if you don't stop killing animals, what you going to talk about? Love. You cannot say, I love somebody, and then you kill them. So if you love Mother Earth, you also have to look after Mother Earth. There's so many things. The question of love is such an important thing. Who do you love? Who you love, you're going to work for. Don't say, I love this, I love that, and it means nothing. Because then you cheat yourself. Because if you don't love anybody, or you say, I love my mother. Okay, I hope so. But what are you doing for your mother's welfare? I love my mother, and that's why I was fighting with her ever since I met my guru to become vegetarian. I couldn't stop it. I said, you have to stop this eating. Why? Because if you keep eating meat, you're going to be born as an animal and you're going to be slaughtered. And I cannot tolerate that because I love you. She said, please stop this. I can't stop. So I couldn't stop. And I can't stop talking like this to anybody because I don't want nobody to be born as an animal. Not only my mother. So if I love the animals and I love the people, then I have to talk like that. That is a commitment. And that commitment, it must bring about a home run at some point with some people, because every single new vegetarian, every single new conscious member, committed member to this and that ideal is making a difference. People say, oh, I won't be able to change the world is already so messed up, so what am I going to do? Well, what you're going to do is what you're going to do. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. And we are all together only one by one, but all together we can do something. But if we don't do anything, if we are not committed to any ideals, then we should also not question, why are we so frustrated? Why are we so unhappy? Why are we so drug addicted? Why are we always running to the doctor and say, oh, I'm depressed, can you give me a pill? They even call them happy pills. Can you please give me a happy pill? I'm so unhappy. But that pill makes you more unhappy because it's not the way to become happy to take pills. You have to become committed to your ideals. Then you can become happy. If you work for something which is worthwhile working and you energize yourself and your people and your place where you live, then you have certain excess, some merits for happiness. So it is my very humble request. I don't know how often I'm going to be here in Sweden. Not so frequently. I don't know when I will meet you again. But one thing I know. If you take it to heart what I say and you become committed, deeply committed, like a real idealist, you have to become at least like a KGB agent. Or like a CIA agent. Why I say that? Well, because these guys, they hang around in another country, in an enemy country, and they always stay with their ideal. Even though they're living it outside, they're not showing it. So, I mean, I'm not saying you shouldn't show outside your ideals, you can, but even if you can't, stick with your ideals. There may be moments in life where you just can't go out and make a big vegetarian campaign or something like that, but you have to stick to your ideals, you have to give the example, and you have to defend your position. There's a very good statement from the strategics. It's called, attack is the best defense. Never let people ask you, why are you vegetarian? No, before he asks that, you have to ask him, why you still eat meat? Immediately, I'm still eating my. No, you shouldn't. Well, why not? I'm not eating, look, I'm fine. So, you'll never be in that uncomfortable situation of being put like ridiculed, like you're like the oddball. Huh? No. So an activist, he's right there. So if you're like an agent, an undercover agent, well, an undercover agent works for his ideals day and night. He has ideals, he can write them down. I want to accomplish this, I want to accomplish that, I want to accomplish that. Now, how? How do you do it? I'm not saying to you what your ideals must be. I may give you some hints here. You have to configure your own ideals. You have to get that package ready. Or if you have a lucky and you have a spiritual teacher, he'll tell you what this is your ideals. You realize that? Yeah, I realize that. Go, do it. Prabhupada gave us ideals. One time I spoke with Srila Prabhupada in England. You know Srila Prabhupada is my spiritual master. He's in that picture there. He's that personality that changed my life and many other people's lives. So I told him, Prabhupada, you told that people eat prasadam, they will be blessed. He looked at me and said, yes. I said, I'm going to buy sometimes the boga for the temple in the big markets. I was doing that in Berlin at that time. And the big markets are full of vegetables and grains and everything. I said, Prabhupada, if I take a picture of Krishna and you, and I offer the whole market to your picture, then the whole city is going to eat prasad. He looked at me and said, yeah, you're smart, huh? I think you're smart, huh? Anyway, he gave me a merciful smile. And he said, that's a nice idea, he said. But the real idea is to convince people to bring a donation to the temple of vegetable or grains. Let me offer it to Krishna and then I give you the Mahaprasada. That is real prasad. Not just people eat prasad without knowing it's prasad. There is a loving exchange. It's a commitment. Accepting prasad, giving a donation for prasad is also commitment. Like in Jagannath Puri, the whole city eats prasad and everybody's committed. They give donations and in this way the temple can maintain 500 cooks and cooking for the whole city, you know. That's not an easy thing to maintain. So prasadam is something very important. Offered food. It's important. If you don't eat food offered, then your food is not, it has not been thanked for. And if you're thankless, that is also another way to say, I am ungrateful. And according to the Srimad Bhagavatam, the Hitopadesh, those who are ungrateful, they're the worst of the people in the world. Because they take, and they're not grateful. This is very, very, very bad. To take anything from anyone and not be thankful and cooperative in response. It's the indicator of number one, sure downfall of a person who doesn't care and want to participate and share and. So, therefore, the scriptures give us an indication that we should offer our food. We should pray for grace, that this food may be accepted. This is not an ordinary food. When you distribute it, and when the people appreciate it, like you say, this is prasada, please take it. And cooperate. Give a donation. Oh, you have no money? No problem. Take the plate anyway. We are here for giving love to people. So it's all about love, the whole thing, the quality, how you do things. If you don't do it with love, if you don't have this profound participation, invocation, invitation, if it's not of that quality, then I must honestly say, you will not be happy. Commitment makes happy. Commitment will make you grow. And I could extend this class into another hour and another hour, but I don't think it's necessary. The rest of the class you have to tell yourself. You have to think, now, wow, if he's right, I think I have a few things to update on my life. And this is exactly what I wanted to accomplish. I wanted to steer you up intellectually to revise where you can do things better in life. Because there's always many things we can do better. And my Gurudev, he's made many, many beautiful things. Can you imagine that this gentleman caused the distribution of billions of plates of vegetarian food distributed for free around the world? Not millions, billions. And that's when he started his campaign, and it is still going on at full speed. It is not slowing down. It is picking up billions of plates, maybe yearly, I don't know, the exact figures are not there, but billions. And at the cost of love. Because the majority of those plates, they're not given for any salary, or for any price. Some maybe, some restaurants give out prasadam here and there, and there's different things. Or some people in the temple, they take prasadam and then they give a donation. So there's some reciprocation, but it has not been a business of Srila Prabhupada to sell prasadam. His business has been to give love. And that's to be copied before you criticize. Huh? Because to give out so much prasadam to the world, to so many hungry people, I was one of them. I got his vegetarian plate. Of course, I was already a vegetarian, but I never ate prasadam. I must say, after getting to know prasadam, I knew I was going to stay a vegetarian for the rest of my life. Because that's a very, very special food. Thank you very much. You may have some questions and answers now.
And my question is, how much should one be committed to know about all the things that are going around in the world? Like, I mean, the war in Sudan and like these kind of things. Because is this like some kind of like love to know what is happening to your fellow human beings on this planet? And how do you then cope with the pain that one feels when knowing all these rapes and wars and things going on?
The answer to this question is that you have to follow your spiritual master's orientation and examples as well. We cannot ignore everything going on around us, but we can also not become obsessed with them or depressed by them, because that will not help us to do anything. As a matter of fact, we have to go in a practical way, and supposedly when we are in our spiritual mission, we have some priorities as well. So I was personally very pressed to start a spoon revolution because of that. Because I was not happy with our participation in this world, that we are not really stopping the people to understand that they should not eat meat. And as a beginning step, many other steps can come, but this is one beginning step. So in this way, I feel that our participation in the vegetarian movement is a contribution in general to the world. But of course, if there's something happening, like we are also looking how to help. And of course, the spiritual master and the local leader, like for example, I'm not so concerned about the Swedish issues, the Swedish environmental issues, because I don't even know about them. But if I'm here in Göteborg and the young people are all protesting about some ecological disaster, and I do not participate in it, or I do not take a stand, then I'm not very serious in their eyes, and there's no good. Because I should be very serious in the eyes of the serious people, no? Otherwise, what they're going to think, you know. Just like devotees, they don't eat white sugar nowadays because half of the young people and the aware people say white sugar is terrible, no? So let's work without white sugar, let's modernize our own participation in life. In this way, we make certain decisions and certain adjustments, but basically that's done by the Guru. Each disciple individually cannot take that position of change. But if a disciple has at least a certain doubt, a certain idea, he can also ask the Guru, what do you think about this? Because very well possible the Guru simply don't know about it. Certain things the Guru doesn't know about.
Yeah, I made a question over there. What do you think about the political system of Cuba?
What, the one of Raul or of Fidel?
Fidel.
Huh?
Fidel.
Well, I think that he has missed out the most important thing, freedom of thought and freedom of speech. But otherwise, they have tried their best to maintain themselves in a very awkward situation. It's very difficult to speak about, but basically speaking, it doesn't look like it's going to last too long what they're doing, because their whole system is upside down, their economy is upside down. So I don't know. Basically, I think that the modern Latin socialism has a lot of good things to give to the world. But when and where is difficult to say, because they're also quite eccentric and a little bit weird. But if you look at Latin American socialistic developments currently, you see that there's some hope, there's some scope, but you don't know how far, because, for example, Evo Morales, the president of Bolivia, just signed a contract with Monsanto, allowing them to sell GMO seeds in Bolivia, which until now he had refused. So it looks like he got so much money under the table that he changed his mind about it, So if these governments sell out to capitalism in that way, then it will not be so good. Fidel Castro's system of controlling everybody through the local spies is pretty horrible. Everybody in Cuba is afraid. It's not, you cannot call that any type of progressive freedom where people are afraid to talk to you.
But stop the globalization reach to the place.
Well, it's a different story. It's a different question. We are against globalization. And I say it's a complex question, a complex situation. And every country will be different. Venezuela is one situation, Ecuador another, Peru now another. You see, actually the system doesn't matter. It means how wise and spiritual the leaders are. That's what really counts. But of course, if you talking about the system of globalization, then you can be sure that system will be in the favor of a few against the welfare of the majority. That's for sure. And that's what capitalistic, rightist systems are standing for. So here she asked the question, now we are talking economics and politics of the world, no? Well, how much can we have a standing? And we think there is a lot of things to be learned for all those who have others under their care. Those who have others under their care should take care of them like they are their own children. Unless they do that, there's no question that we can give them any kind of approval. Until the government is taking care of their people like they're their children. Yes?
Yeah, I had a question. How can you know who's your spiritual master?
How can you know who's your spiritual master? By praying to Krishna, reading, hearing, praying again, convincing Krishna that you want to have his representative in your life, and then he will send. And you will feel it. It's all up to the heart. There's other description. For example, Walter Eidlitz, famous Swedish, Austrian author. He wrote that when your desire to become a devotee of Krishna and serve Krishna becomes very intensive, that means a spiritual master has entered in your life in one way or another. Because that influence, that desire to strongly serve Krishna, that comes from a spiritual master. That faith is distributed by one. In other words, you can reflect on your heart what's happening. This pretty little form, where did it come from?